What is going on, everybody? This is MYG Jeffy T 3285, and I'm here with some breaking news surrounding the New York Mets. As tonight, they have acquired outfielder Tyler Naquin and relief pitcher Philip Diehl from the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for minor leaguers Jose Acuna and Hector Rodriguez. Now, so far this year, Tyler Naquin has a WAR of 0.0, and in 184 bats, he's batting .245 with 45 hits, 6 home runs, and 31 RBIs with 28 runs scored, 3 stolen bases with an on-base percentage of .305, a slugging percentage of .429, an OPS of .734, as well as an OPS plus of .97. So Tyler Naquin, who's had some pretty solid years in the past, he's struggling a little bit from the plate, but he still might be able to provide some fourth outfielder play for the New York Mets, as he could slide in there as a guy that maybe they could rely on as a fourth outfielder going forward, in case they want to give guys like Mike Canna, Starling Marte, and Brandon Nimmo some rest. So Tyler Naquin I could see as like another outfielder that they just acquired to help out their offense going forward. So I think it's a pretty solid addition to the New York Mets as they continue to strengthen their lineup going forward, which is not a bad thing. Now, in the other part of the deal, Philip Diehl right now in his 2022 season has a WAR of -.02 with no wins and no losses. His ERA is 11.12, so this guy has not done a very good job in terms of his relief pitching so far for the Cincinnati Reds. He's been in 5 games with no games saved, no save opportunities. With a 5.2 innings he's pitched, 3 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.941. So this is a guy right now that has been struggling a lot when it comes to his starting pitching. And this is a guy that he might have just been a throw-in to this deal right now. And I don't know if you want to rely on a guy like Philip Diehl with the type of numbers he's been putting up so far this year as one of your key guys you want to throw into the bullpen. So I think this is just a guy they want to throw into the deal because they want to try to trade away Tyler Naquin's contract. And maybe they think that Jeremy Hefner is going to be able to try to find a way to fix Philip Diehl, whatever issue he has right now in that bullpen, and try to get his mechanics going. And maybe they can get something out of this kid, or they can always just throw him in the minor leagues and see if they can work on his mechanics and possibly bring him back later in the season as part of that Mets relief going forward. Now, in terms of the Cincinnati Reds, who they are going to be acquiring from the New York Mets. Now, first talking about Jose Acuna, who right now is in the minor leagues as we speak, and his 2022 minor league stats are as follows. He has a 19.50 ERA, so this is another guy that's been struggling a whole lot in his minor league pitches so far for the team. And he has been in 5 games so far with no games saved or no save opportunities, with 6 innings pitched and 7 strikeouts with a 4.17 ERA. So I think his whip is a little bit better, but in terms of his ERA, that is not good at all. I think the Cincinnati Reds are probably going to just stash this guy in the minor leagues and hope they can try to work out his mechanics. His whip is not horrible, although it does need a lot of work. So that's just pretty much one of the throw-ins for the Cincinnati Reds going forward. And in terms of the other guy that was acquired, Hector Rodriguez as well. He's had 111 at-bats so far in the minor leagues with 20 runs scored. He has 38 hits, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. He has 12 stolen bases with a .342 average, a .378 on-base percentage, with an OPS of .910. So this is a guy that's had pretty solid numbers in the minor leagues. Nothing spectacular to jump off the page. His average is pretty good, and his on-base percentage is not that bad at all, as well as the OPS. It's just the power numbers and the RBIs are not where maybe you want him to be, but this is maybe a guy that the Cincinnati Reds can use as maybe a utility player going into the rest of the season for them this year. And Hector Rodriguez is a second baseman right now for the team, as more stats going in. But I think this is just more of a minor league trade right now for the Mets, as they're maybe taking a chance on a guy like Tyler Naquin, seeing what he can do for the New York Mets. Maybe he can be a good fourth outfielder. I don't expect this guy to really start. I don't expect a whole lot from him, and that's the same thing with Philip Diehl. I think it's just more depth right now for the outfield, as I don't think they have anybody else that they could really rely on besides Thomas Jawinski. I apologize if I'm butchering his name right now, but he's more of a defensive outfielder. So maybe they're thinking that Tyler Naquin could be a solid fourth outfielder for this team. But I still believe the New York Mets need to add more to this team. So I do not think that they're done right now in terms of any of the trades that they're going to make coming towards the August 2nd trade deadline coming Tuesday. is I really believe they're still going to make some more moves to improve this roster, even though they have made a few trades with the Pittsburgh Pirates the past couple of weeks, as they acquired Daniel Vogelbach as well as Michael Perez, and then after tonight's trade, acquiring Tyler Naquin and Philip Diehl. I think these are all depth moves right now for the team, and I still think that they're going to try to look to improve this roster going into the August 2nd deadline, because the New York Mets have to try to reinforce this team. They can't be complacent, and they have to try to fix all their holes. I still think the bullpen is a major weakness, and I still think the catching position is still a position you could seek to upgrade, as well as the DH, as well as Vogelbach could be a nice little hitter for the DH position. I still think this team needs to acquire more to this, more to the team going forward, as I do not think it's enough for the New York Mets, and I still think they need to add to this roster before the deadline this coming Tuesday. So I want to know in the comments section what you think of the acquisition of Tyler Naquin and Philip Diehl to the New York Mets, as the Mets and the Reds have swung a trade tonight. And the Mets have now added Tyler Naquin and Philip Diehl to their roster and traded away minor league players Jose Acuna, relief pitcher for the New York Mets, as well as Hector Rodriguez, a second baseman, both in the minor leagues right now. If you think the New York Mets are done and you think the New York Mets should still try to make some more moves in the minor leagues, let me know in the comments section what you think. Turn on the bell for notifications on when the next video or short are going to drop for the New York Mets. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and subscribe if you haven't already to NYG Jeffy T 3285 for more breaking news, videos, and updates surrounding the New York Mets, New York Giants, Brooklyn Nets, WWE Wrestling, as well as for food for thought. So this is my little breaking news update I wanted to give everybody. The New York Mets once again have acquired Tyler Naquin, outfielder, and relief pitcher Philip Diehl from the Cincinnati Reds tonight in exchange for minor league players Jose Acuna and Hector Rodriguez that are going to be going to the Cincinnati Reds. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Thursday night. Take it easy, and let's go New York Mets.